A warm welcome back to everybody. I hope you had some nice networking during lunch and you have some new energy to join us in the next section. Also, a very warm welcome to everybody online. Nice that you're still with us. My name is Margret Vonholdt-Wenker. I work at the Friedrich Lüfte Institute in Germany. Most of you have heard my talk this morning. I'm also in the project advisory board of this project, which I'm very excited about, and I will chair this session. And our first talk will be about the the National Innovation Practice Hubs from Estonia, Denmark, and France. And we will start with Airi Vetemaa from the Estonian Organic Farming Association and tell us something about her hub. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. At first, I would like to thank you all previous speakers, especially practitioners. You have been really, really very inspiring, and I admire what you have done. Unfortunately, we haven't really seen such good examples in our country. For Estonia, CCC is not really practiced. We don't have really any well-established CCC farm, but we still have some who have tried, who had made an effort to do some steps and experiment at least with this kind of systems. And for background, I would like to tell that actually I don't like very much the direction where our dairy farming is heading. Now we are kind of really happy that we are the leaders in Europe. We have our milking yield is the highest here in this region, and I just yesterday read vision for the future of our farming in Estonia, and it was written that in future we have less cows but even higher yield. So I don't know how this will happen and how cows think about it, but well, at least we have now kind of push or stimulus to look on the other directions, and we have established our group of farmers. They are organic farmers, and a couple of them have tried foster cow system, and some have had cow with calf more than 1 or 2 days, up to 7 days. Of course, as we heard today, it's question about stress of separating them when they have established the bond. So we have to be really careful what we are suggesting to our farmers, and I hope we get from this very enthusiastic group of researchers and farmers, we will get a lot of knowledge to help them and to try and go into right direction. Yeah. And if I would like to point out that a very good thing in our group is that we have a vocational school on board. They started to experiment this like a little bit more than a year ago, and quite recently they said that maybe we haven't succeeded well, and maybe let's go back to the old system, especially the workers in the barn. They said that it's kind of complicated, and so, but with the situation that they are kind of already included in this group, we convinced them to go on, and and hopefully it will go well. And somebody yesterday said that when we can't convince or change the mind of farmers who are, I wouldn't say old, but let's say experienced, used to other systems, that it's difficult to convert them then maybe it's a really good start for young farmers who are still learning to see different possibilities, how you can keep animals and support their health. So this is really a very good thing, and the most challenging is really to keep farmers interesting, or to find interested farmers, because we have donkey to so many, and and there has been, as we don't have a good example to show from our country, I hope we can now bring with this project we can bring good examples from other countries and get the thing further. Thank you.
Are there any questions for Airi? If not, then I would like to continue to our next facilitator, which is Kirstine Flintholm Jørgensen from the Innovation Center for Organic Farming in Denmark. Please welcome her.
Thank you. Skip this one. Right, I'm gonna fill you in on our NIB in Denmark. It's been a good and active group. They have settled down with 11 members, and mainly farmers, 10 farmers and 1 scientist. And they've been having 2 farm visits at the moment. One at the Gall-Ladevèze, it's an organic farm school, and they practice cow and calf together. And at this meeting, we did the innovation wheel process, trying to figure out what subjects to apply for in the living lab. The other farm visit was a meeting and a farm visit at a place called Pytgård Organic Dairy Sheep Farm, and they have their own farmstead dairy making cheese, and held a presentation on whether farmstead dairies is a dream or a nightmare. So very interesting. Also 2 online meetings with concerning the living lab ideas, applications so far. A little bit about the Danish situation. We have around 20 to 25 farms practicing CCC at the moment, and maybe more that I don't know of. It's mainly organic farmers, and they are as different as you have mentioned in the other countries, I think. Small-scale farms, 10 to 35 cows each. That's typically cow-calf systems with their own dam. And then we have these larger-scale farms up to 400 cows, and they typically use a foster cow for the cows. And the living lab idea is how to increase the premium payment for the CCC milk, and what are the opportunities to establish your own marketing channels and your on-farm dairy processing, having a farmstead dairy there. They also talked about having a mobile dairy, but they kind of skipped that. So now they are into on-farm dairying. We have a very good group, I think, with a good open discussion, and they have this common goal of making this work in the future. And this is makes it quite interesting to be a part of. One challenge is that they always talk too much, and we run out of time too quick. So, yeah, I think that's it from Denmark.
Thank you, Kirstine. Are there any questions for her? If not, then we have another facilitator joining us online. That is Chloé Gall-Ladevèze from Flintholm, France, who will say something about her hub in France.
Put Chloé over here.
Let me know.
Yes, that's
You
good.
hear me? Okay.
I can hear you, and I will just move your slide on. There we go.
Thanks. Hi everyone. So I present here for France and Switzerland. So the activities so far in our network I will let also Caroline, my co-facilitator, complete if needed. Our activities, we are already at 2 NIP meetings, focused on presentation by Caroline on topics like the different systems of CCC in France, to have people talk about it, talk about their own system. And also the second was around practical implementation of foster cow system. So really interactive presentations. We have several NIP members that also shared about the project to gather more people. So we have more and more people in the network. It's nice. Our network in practice, we have 32 contacts today, from really various profiles and areas. In France, we have 1 farmer in Switzerland. So 13 farmers now, 3 vets, and most of the other people are technical advisor or people in applied research, network animators for farms, etc. What is the typical CCC farm in France and Switzerland? It can be really various systems, but most of the time they are small or medium farms, often in high value or alternative dairy production like organic, or they have direct selling or production on the farm of cheese or dairy, etc. Most of them have seasonal calving, and mostly we have the foster cow systems because it's easier to manage with the loss of milk with the dams. So most farmers practice foster cows to raise either heifers or bull calves. It depends, as it allows less constraints at work to raise them. And also it allows to value remote pastures and the less productive cows. Next, please. We submitted also a living lab idea that was raised really from our network, from discussions. That is developing science or experience-based technical fact sheets together with supporting materials like videos, any other materials that we could have on specific topics to support the practical implementation of CCC systems like adoption, separation, reproduction, management, nutrition, the organization of work, etc. We will have to choose the topics. What's the best thing about the group? We had a late start, a few months after the other NIPs, but already a dynamic group with 2 NIP meetings that we could organize. We have numerous contacts, a lot of people interested in the NIP, in the next results and events, and also the sharing of other results from the project. We could submit the Living Lab project in time, so it's good. But there are also challenges in the group. As in other groups, it's difficult to gather people for a physical meeting, so we only had online meetings. Even for a farm visit, it was difficult to organize it. And also, same issue, it's difficult to motivate or have farmers available to join the meetings.
Thanks.
I think it's all. Thanks.
Are there any questions for Chloé? I don't see one. So then we will continue with our next speaker. That is Lisa van Dijk from Highclere Consulting. She is also part of the project advisory board, and she will tell us more how we can get more out of thematic networks like this.
Thank you. I need to switch. How do I switch? I'm not touching it.
Do you want to switch straight to the
Presentation.
yeah.
Oh, perfect. Great. Good. Good afternoon. All a bit sleepy after lunch. Well, The good thing is that after my presentation, we'll do also some more interactive session, but unfortunately it's 20 minutes more of sitting down with me. My name is Lise van Dijk, and I am going to tell you more about getting the most out of a thematic network. And I'm sure you all know that the TransformDairyNet project is a thematic network, hence this title. So very quickly before I start, why am I here and who am I? Always a very useful question. So I have two hats currently. One hat is with Highclere Consultant. We are a small innovating support service based in Romania. And also I work for the Eberswalde University of Sustainable Development in Germany. However, I live and also work in the south of France, where my husband and myself, we have a sheep farm and we produce Suffolks, or as the French say, Suffolks, sheep. And all my life I've worked in participatory research, community-led research, and also very at moment in time in a couple of periods specifically related to farmer-led animal welfare research. I worked with Professor David Main in Bristol, and did my PhD there on farmer-led innovation. And as mentioned before, I'm part of the advisory board. And this is one of the books that I've co-authored when I was doing my work more in the international animal welfare scene. I've worked over the past 10 years in multiple EU projects, and a lot of them are thematic networks. I actually started off with the first thematic network that was ever funded, which was Hennovation. I also was involved in BroilerNet and Pathways, and currently I'm involved in 3 projects, the EUFarmBook, LIVENET and Premiere. And I'm also involved in project monitoring and evaluation. The majority of this part I'm presenting in as part of the Premiere project. A very brief slide just to mention this project. This project is about improving the multi-actor approach, and for some of that, this might be completely unclear what that means, but it will be coming clear as we go through my presentation. So why am I here? It's another very important question, of course. So I'll walk you through what is a thematic network project. So as I mentioned, the TDN project, the TransformDairyNet project, is a thematic network. I will explain the relationship between the thematic network and the multi-actor approach. I will empty my head in terms of what I think you need to do to get most out of your thematic networks. And I'll introduce you to 2 other projects that might help you in increasing your expectation of results and impact as a thematic network. First of all, what is a thematic network? Well, a thematic network is actually an Horizon project, but it's a little bit a different beast, because it really aims to compile and share knowledge ready for practice. So it's about collecting knowledge and best practices, transforming them so that they are really able to use by farmers and advisors. They are so-called multi-actor projects. Again, I'll get to that. That collect existing knowledge and best practices on a given team. So here we're on CAF CCC, and make it available in understandable formats for end users and users to use. And why do these projects happen? Why did the Commission decided to fund these thematic networks? Is because really they are about bridging the gap between science and practice. Because despite the continuous funding of scientific projects, the new knowledge did not sufficiently were integrated and captured into practice. With that also came the introduction of the multi-actor approach. About 10 years ago, 2014, the first multi-actor projects were funded. And what multi-actor really means is that practitioners, users, farmers are put at the center of the research and innovation projects over the whole course of the project. So their practical expertise is used to co-create innovative solutions. It makes them co-owners of the results. They implement them in practice and they share them in peer-to-peer meetings. So if you hear this, you're just thinking, oh yeah, I can see that in our project. And I think the TransformDairyNet is a very good example of a good multi-actor project. What else is there? So it's a form of responsible research, responsible R&I, and also a form of open science. And it really is there to ensure that the process and its outcomes are more reliable, demand-driven, shared, and relevant for society. And most importantly, it ensures the genuine and sufficient involvement of a target array of actors all over the course of the project, from the ideation to implementation, experimentation, analysis, and also dissemination of results. And there's about 350 of them in the funding program that the Thematic TransformDairyNet project is funded in. So then, of course, the very crucial question: getting the most out of thematic networks. So I emptied my head a little bit, and I think there's 4 key elements. One is about ensuring farmers are in the driving seat. The second one is all about process facilitation. Then it is about translation, and also it's about self-reflection. Oh, somehow it's jumped to TransformDairyNet presentation outline. It's fine, you can't do anything about it. It's okay. So I'll just continue. So the first one is farmers in the driving seat. So if you want to get most out of your thematic network, it really needs not to be a science-driven project. It needs to be a practice-driven project. It needs to be based on farmer needs. It needs to involve farmers from all stages in the innovation project. So in this project, you have this as an example, or also of having farmers involved. That, of course, much more is your field labs, but also in your field labs, then farmers participate in the whole field lab process. It is really about by and with farmers, and not for farmers. Of course, the end results are for farmers, but it needs to be done by and with farmers, and there needs to be the only way to get it really disseminated into practice and it's exploited is by creating this ownership of the results. The other sort of key point is the process facilitation, and if you see it already, all the NIPs, I think they're called, have process facilitators, and there needs to be a very clear engagement and co-creation process behind that. There needs to be designated roles that is there, and that needs to be both on project level and on national level. And throughout the project, to get most out of your thematic network, these guys need real support and capacity development to facilitate these networks effectively. And this is through peer-to-peer learning, to learning by doing, and invest enough time as a project. Just don't assume your facilitators don't need the support. They need the support. They need to talk to each other. They need specific capacity building. Then I mentioned translation. So translation, there's 2 elements of this in terms of, one is the obvious one. This, I don't know whether this word exists, multilinguality. Make sure you invest in this in multiple language and don't assume anyone speaks English. Also with your cross visits, because you actually alienate your target group because they often can't speak English. It's us in this bubble that can speak English, but actually the target group can't. So you need to invest in that. And then the other one is the translation from science into practice, into accessible language, targeted to farmers, and capturing existing good practices and research findings that are ready to put in practice. Finally, this might look really fluffy, but it's not. It's, as a project, you have to invest in self-reflection and even go as deep as reflexivity. So really trying to understand, is my project functioning well as a multi-actor consortium? What am I learning of us working as a network? Ensuring that there is the reflection on the effectiveness of the engagement and the co-engagement processes throughout the project. And this is a collective learning as a network. Hopefully at the end of this project, we will be able to do networking better because we learned in this project to do it, but both in the small farming groups and as an EKIN itself. But that means we have to spend time reflecting on how things go. So those are sort of my 4 key issues of how to make most out of the thematic networks. Then my final one is how to increase exploitation of the project results and your impact. And that, of course, is about ensuring your project outputs are easily accessible and findable. You try to look at how to speed up the use and uptake, and also how to incorporate project outputs into knowledge networking and decision making. And by saying that, I can say welcome to the EUFarmBook, because the EUFarmBook is a project that can help you with all these to do this better. Already, I know that Care for Dairy, for example, is engaging with the EUFarmBook and also TransformDairyNet. And basically, this farmbook, the EUFarmBook, is due to launch in December 2025. And it is an online knowledge reservoir for the collection, storage, and dissemination of practice-oriented materials. So it very much fits into your remit as well. This is a 7-year-long project, specifically focusing on capturing all the results from Horizon 2020, Horizon Europe, and other EU-funded projects, to make sure that the results of all the projects that we're doing, which are hundreds, like 600-700 projects, is somewhere to be found and also easily accessible to farmers. This is how it looks like. And why to engage with this, with the EUFarmBook? It will help you manage your multilinguality. It has a multilingual hub. So it does automatic translation, which is really, really useful. So if you develop your practice abstracts, for example, which is a requirement for a project, for a thematic network, it will automatically translate this. We have also smart search functions. So when a farmer goes onto the FarmBook and he would put in calf-cow contact, it will get all the information from maybe the operational groups that involved. Maybe if you put all your information on there from your field labs, it will get all of that presented to him or her. Dedicated project pages, so projects can have their own pages on this EUFarmBook. So if you're a smaller project, it means you don't have to spend money. And also it gives you access to advanced analytics, which is always very good for the work package that looks at the communications, because it can actually see what of the documents are actually read and who reads them. And you can scan this QR code. I'll also share it later on. So that's one project that can help. The other project, which is a newer project, also very interesting, is a advisory network project. The Commission has initiated several advisory network projects on different topics. And one is about sustainable livestock practices. So that's also very relevant for the TransformDairyNet project. It's a very young project. We only started in January, so we don't even have a website yet. But it's really to build the capacity of advisors and link them together to increase knowledge sharing and adoption of innovation solutions for sustainable livestock production practices. Well, how more innovative can your practices be that need to go and connect you to this project? This project is called LIVENET, from Livestock Net. Hey, that took us long. And we're also setting up 4 thematic networks of advisors on EU level, and also there is 29 national networks. So also for your NIPs, it would be really great to connect with those and to be part of this advisory network, because it will give you an opportunity to share your innovative practices, your innovations much more widely, because it will get into this big EU level sharing system. It's focusing on dairy, beef, sheep, goat, poultry, and pigs, and I'll definitely through probably Rachel keep you informed on the progress. As I said, we're just starting, and the networks probably will start in September. So it will be a great opportunity to join. So those are 2 different opportunities to increase your network, and that's also the end of my presentation. Thank you.
There is room for some questions for Lisa before we move on to the workshop. There is one here from Anina.
Thank you so much. Very interesting presentation. I really liked that you say the first thing is that we have to put the farmers in the driver's seat. And you emphasize that it's very important to have them at all steps of the innovation process involved. However, we sometimes struggle to get them involved in all these stages because they don't want to be asked for everything. So maybe if you, since you have so much experience with these many projects, can you maybe elaborate a little bit about what's the best way of not overdoing it, but having them involved and in the driver's seat? Do you have any recommendation on this? Thanks.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Normally, and it sounds really, if they're not enough motivated, you're just not addressing really what they need. So it's fairly simple. And I think it's always a challenge with this kind of projects, because you are pushing it a little bit. So it's really spending enough time listening to them and asking them what they need and figuring out what they're willing to invest and what is for them the added advantage of engaging. There's no right and wrong in terms of, if you look at the whole process, the sort of the innovation cycle, there's no right or wrong on how deep they need to involve, because we live in reality. People can not always invest as much as they want all the time, but it's trying to find that balance through discussion with them and making a real effort to say, okay, I'm developing these. There needs to be sorry, I'm thinking through. So just consulting them is not enough. And I know, so like if you go to the spiral, just involve them in the beginning and the end is not enough. So there needs to be that discussion on where they are willing to contribute, and that is based on, is it really tackling their need or not? Because it's the same as us. They're not different. If you're not interested really in something, you don't invest time. Is it really, really relevant for you? You invest time. So it's trying to find that sweet spot. Yeah.
Is there any other question that you would like to ask Lisa? If not, then I think it's been enough listening. Maybe it's time for a bit more active workshop now, where Lisa will help us to get a vision for cow-calf contact in Europe.
Good. So the next 40 minutes, we will do a little more interactive session to, in terms of a little workshop to explore more the vision for cow-calf contact in Europe. So, Siobhan, do you want to say something about how this came about?
Yeah, certainly. So I guess I was thinking about how diverse a group we are. You know, we've really embraced that multi-actor side of things, which means we have farmers, researchers, advisors, lots of people within the network, and lots of people with very different experiences of cow-calf contact farming in their country or what they've researched. And we've already heard a lot today about the different types of CCC practices that there are. And in the end, I guess we want to kind of think as a collective, perhaps, like where do we want to go with this? We've got all these different things happening at the moment. Farmers are running away doing things as they are making it work on their own farms. But how are we going to go about bringing all of this together so that in some way we can have this kind of vision for dairy farming and where CCC fits into dairy farming in Europe? So as part of that process, I was thinking it would be good for us to think as a community ourselves, a multi-actor community, what our vision looks like, and then also maybe not shy away from some of those difficult topics within this around specific practices or types of support and mechanisms, for example, as well. So that's what we're going to address within the workshop. And I knew Lisa was excellent at facilitating these workshops, so it's great to have her on the project advisory board with her experience of these networks in general and then to help us today.
Cool. So we're using Menti, and this is right. Gone too far. How do I go back? So the first question is an individual question, and it's sort of a warming up. Can you go to menti.com? So if you have a phone or your computer, you can either scan the QR code or go to menti.com and use those codes, and everyone online can also do that. And how many are we in a room and how many are we online, Rachel?
I'm doing it online.
Online and in the room, how many are we? So I would like to see at least 65 people participating, otherwise it's skipping. So you're 47 at the moment. So what's your vision for CCC in Europe? 3 words, you know, the 3 words game, everything can be said in 3 words. So go to Menti and respond. And I don't, yeah, it's starting. Great. I don't know 100% why it's putting these in bold, if in blue, but you can still read them somehow. Why is it like that? I don't know, but is it readable?
Yeah.
So your vision in 3 words. I'll leave it running. This is your personal individual vision. Yeah, I don't know what is the problem. I'll let you go. Let me just see if I can fix that. Hooray! Here we are. So, 48, 58 people, 47 have responded. I'm waiting. If you've finished with your 3 words, give me a thumbs up so I know that you're ready. Well, on the So Siobhan, what is coming out? What are the main sustainability, ethical?
There's still lots of kind of very positive words there, aren't there? Around happy farmer, positive, happy consumer. Something about like all farms and universal satisfaction, better work farms. But there's also challenge. So, yeah, challenging.
So this is your individual vision. So we would like to go to a joint project vision. And I'll put this back on the screen when we go into our breakout groups. Because what I want to do next is to actually get into small breakout groups and do a little bit of brainstorming on how to go to from our individual visions to a joint project vision. And as Siobhan already said, what are currently the hot topics or areas of tension that in defining the CCC system that needs to be discussed as a project to get to this joint vision. So what I would like you to do, first of all, can you stand up? And also online, we'll go in breakout groups. So just initially just stand up. Yeah. And then I think the easiest way to do it is to turn around. And I would like to have sort of groups of 6, 7 people. So you can just turn around, sit around the table with 6 to 7, grab a chair, go and sit with somebody you haven't talked to before, haven't met before. I need groups of 6 to 7 people. Yeah. So for the guys that are joining online, Rachel will put you in a breakout group in a minute. You're probably quicker than the guys here online. So, okay, can I have 2 seconds just to make sure that in your groups, can you appoint a reporter? Sorry, can you just listen for a sec? Before you start off, please listen for a second. In your group, please report a rapporteur, because once you finish the discussions, we'll continue with the mentee, and when one of you, or you can all do it, but at least one of you has to put in the discussion, the points coming out of the discussion. So please have one person in mind in each group that will respond to the mentee when you're finished discussing. I will put the mentee on, and you can do it as you go. That's fine as well. But the value of it is that we harvest this discussion. Yeah. So it is 6 past the hour. 20 minutes. Would that be? Yeah. So I would say 20 minutes. So that is 15:25. We'll cut the discussions and we'll come back to share it.
So online, I think you should be about to go into the rooms. You've each got a facilitator already assigned to you who will report back on the mentee as well. and look forward to your discussions. And thanks for your contribution. Any issues, just write in the chat and we'll monitor that.
So that's a nice thing of Menti, that it does a little bit of sorting if you want to. But we won't, I'll go to the next slide, but just to say, we won't go into detail of discussing, it will be processed and then it probably goes back to you. Yeah, go to the next slide. So if you had the opportunity to go deeper, please put that in as well. So this is the second part of the question. If you have had the opportunity to go deeper, please put it in now. And do indicate the area that you responded to. Yeah. So it might be that you didn't get there. That's fine. I'll give people 5 minutes to respond. What's the time? Are we okay for time? You can always run out 5-10 minutes.
Finish in about 5 minutes.
Give me a thumbs up when you're done or you didn't do it. That's fine, so that we know whether we are finished. So if I get 9 thumbs up, we'll move on. It might be that you already discussed this as part of the first bit. Yeah, there's some people still. There's one group there that's doing. So I can see some groups are still writing. Do give me a thumbs up if you're done. I'll send this, send it to you both. What time is dinner? Do you know? Yeah, so I'll let this running so you can stick it in, but I'll take it offline, but you can still add if you want to, so we can go to the next session. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of activity after lunch.
Thanks.
That's okay.
So welcome back, everybody. I know you're all dying for a break, but we still have one talk left, which is a very important one because it's about disseminating the results, also partly of this project. So from the communication team, we will now have Mathilde, Deville, and Yael from FEE, who will talk about the communication and dissemination of all the CCC information in this project.
Thank you, Margret. Good afternoon. After this little workshop, please stay with us, and then after we will have the break. So we are the leader of the DAC teams, which means like dissemination, exploitation, and communication. It's the communication team. So of course, mainly the work package are doing the work, but we also need to communicate on this. It's the work package 5 and 6. So 5 is more about preparing all of these tools that could be used. So website, newsletter, templates, logo, visual identity, etc. And the work package 6 is more focused on how to use them and spread all the content that can be created through this TDN project. Let's start about the visual identity of TransformDairyNet. So to start with the logo, it was made to show the connection between the cow and calf. So we can see the two shadows of both of them together with some colors, earthy, a tone of gray that can be linked to natures and sustainability of this project. There is two versions of the logo that was created to show the diversity of dairy farming in Europe, even with or without horns. We don't see them really well, but they existed. Then, if we want to talk about communication channels, we create few main channels that we use to reach our audience by using the website, social medias, of course, and newsletters, so we can share all the knowledge that the project can bring. Here is the TDN website, which was launched not long ago, about 2 months ago, so it's still in the progress process, and we're filling it, I would say, month after month. But for now, we can already find the description of the project, the different work package and what they are doing, and also key elements like the living labs, NIPS, Annan, etc. It's a lot of acronyms, but if you are not clear, at least you can find more information on that. There is also the newsletter and the link so you can subscribe to our newsletter on the TDN website. So if you are not subscribers already, please go to the website so you can be updated on our events or different steps. There is also others categories that you can find about news, events, or different articles like interviews of our dear Chauvin. Next channels is, of course, in today's world, the social medias. So we focused on LinkedIn and Facebook. We will also have in the next months and years videos on YouTube with the different dairy farming system that you can find in TDN NIPS. And then we can continue on communication materials that we already created. We use a variety of communication material to engage again with our audience. Of course, we try to wake up their curiosity, and so we can also maybe be a future partner or how can I say, person involved in the NIPs, for example. So one big step that we made was a Dijk survey, which was designed to identify the end user preference. So how farmers could be interested to have their news about TDN or just TCC farming. So we can tailor our communication work to their needs. This survey is available in 10 languages, and we already received quite few responses, but since we are in Europe, it's really huge. So if you are interested to respond to this survey, please contact us. Or also, if you think that some of your contacts could be interesting to have their point of view, please also just share it with us and we will contact them. Another step was to expand the impact of TDN. Of course, we are communicating on our website, our social medias, but it's not enough. And as, for example, it was discussed just in our group in the workshop, the press is also a powerful tool to be like in a farmer's press or different newsletter that they are already reading. So it's another way of expanding TDN's knowledge. These are two successful communication materials that we made. So the first press release that was sent to different stakeholders about the beginning of the project. And also the first newsletter just sent last month. It was sent to more than 100 persons, and now we have like 144 subscribers. And I'm sure that after this meeting, we will have more. Please tell me yes. After that, I will let Yael continue. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have created few printed materials to disseminate in the event. So the first two roll-up banners, one is here and one is outside, you can see it. We also printed 300 brochures. This is ideal for distribution at conferences. So you are invited to take home with you and to share it. You can find it in the table in the back. So what have we done and what we are going to do? We've done a lot in the last year and we will do more in the next 2 years. We are really excited about it and looking forward to it. So in the next coming 2 years, we will have all the dissemination material will be published on the website, on the social media, on EUFarmBook, and on all the papers in open access. We will have 40 practice abstracts. We will have 5 more newsletters and 5 press releases. Next newsletter we are planning to issue right before the summer. So all ideas or items that you would like to see, please write to us, tell us. We will be happy to share it. We are planning to have 30 webinars, different videos from the living labs and from the farm visit videos, and 10 podcasts or interviews. At the end of the project, we will also produce a policy brief that it will be distributed to decision makers. So again, if you have any ideas or if there is anything you would like to know more, you can contact us on this email address or on social media. One thing to mention is that communication is the work of all, and these 2 work packages on deck activity wouldn't success without the commitment of everyone involved. So I would like to make a special thanks for Work Package 5 and Work Package 6 teams, to all the TDN partners and to the NNFs. And you can see that your dedication and effort truly make the difference. So thank you all. So we haven't had enough of a Mentimeter, so we will do now a hook lap.
Do they need this now, or is it on the first page of the wood clap?
Maybe they need it now to connect.
Okay.
And then we will open. So if you can, please take part in this next questionnaire. You can join via the QR code that you can see on the screen, or you can digit the website and this event code. We'll give you 1 minute and then we will run with the first question.
Okay. So do you want, how do you?
Display? No.
No?
I think we should do this. And then
This?
yes. So this is the first one and then.
Ah, okay, fine, yes. So let me share this thing. It's not on there, so that's so, hang on a minute, I need to just move this across. Yeah. Do that. Come back. Share. The only bad thing is you have to kind of run it, you know, sort of like using the mouse on here a bit.
Sorry?
You have to kind of run it.
Yeah,
like
to go
that.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, also the people online, you are very welcome to join. Okay. Yeah, Ragnar, you have difficulties. You need help. Can you help Ragnar? Help Ragnar. Okay. Okay, we go. So the first question, describe in one word what topic you would like to see in the next newsletter. Nice. Okay, I think we have a winner case study. Sanjay story from farm, behavior. Happy farmer, this is great. This is something I didn't think about before this meeting. One welfare, winning. Again, farm story, okay. Yeah, thank you. We go to the next one. What kind of webinar title would catch your attention and make you want to learn more about cow-calf contact system? So we had an interactive session with the partners yesterday, and I'm happy to see that most of the suggestions that came from the partners, we can see also here, so it's really great. Work satisfaction, CCC economics, talk with the farmer, sustainability. Plenty of ideas. Thank you very much. Brilliant. Okay, I will move to the next question. What type of practice abstract would you find most useful based on the project findings? And this is few example. You can take it as example or ignore it. It can be the same as the webinar title. So again, case studies, practical tips, successful stories, welfare benefits, marketing options, economic impact. Thank you very much. And this is the last question, if I remember well. We are always looking to improve how we communicate TDN work and impact. What's one creative idea you have to boost communication and visibility for the TDN project? Nice. Vet schools, good idea. Case study. Farm videos, we will have. LinkedIn, we are in. Podcast, we will have. Conferences. Vet webinars, okay. Virtual interviews, great. Thanks a lot. That's a lot of information that will sure serve us. Okay, can we switch again to the... I think just willing to talk this. So thank you very much for your attention, and there is a little surprise for you. There are some hats with the logo of the project in the back and the table on the back. So please try it, take it with you, and thank you very much.
So thank you all for your attention, your inputs. Also, thanks again for all the speakers. And now it's time for a well-deserved coffee break before we start the last session of the day. It's a 15-minute coffee break, so we would like to see you back at 10 minutes after 4. Thank you.
We will start. You've seen me before. I'm Anna from the Vetemaa Uni in Vienna, and I have the honor to chair this last session of today. And we will start with, again, some practice reports or some reports from the National Innovation Practice Hubs. And we will start with Rachel from UK and Ireland. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So you will have all had various emails from me throughout the project. And I am also the facilitator for the UK and Ireland. So yeah, myself and Stina have 2 countries to kind of look after in terms of CCC farmers. In terms of what we've done so far, we've had 3 online meetings, so kind of like an introductory meeting just to show people the project to see if they wanted to be involved. We then had 2 online meetings, and then we had a fantastic study visit to the very, very sunny Scotland. So we're very lucky to have Charles and the Ethical Dairy as one of our NIP members, and they hosted us at the Ethical Dairy as part of our study visit. And we also went to Moskill Farm, which is another organic farm in Scotland. And yeah, in terms of our NIP, it's very varied. So we've got some micro dairies who are just curious about CCC farmers. We've got some quite small farmers, and then we've got a couple of bigger farmers as well, like Charles, with over 100 cows. So a real kind of range in terms of the people that are in the UK and Ireland NIP. You would think I would be able to use the technology. Oh, there we go. So yes, I think the best thing about the group in general was basically the study trip to Scotland was just fantastic. It was brilliant to get everybody together, and it really struck me, I guess, whenever people were just we were just talking at both of the farms, and people just had all these just general questions, and everyone was chipping in with different answers. And what did you do whenever this happened, or what do you think is best whenever that happened? And it was just fantastic actually to stand back and just see everybody just advising each other and communicating and being so open with their knowledge. So yeah, that was a real kind of highlight, and everybody in the group was just buzzing after it. So we had 2 fantastic days in Scotland. One of the challenges of running the group is that we've got less farmers in Ireland who are either practicing or curious about CCC. So we're a little bit behind in Ireland than we are in the UK. So we do have one farmer in the group that has a foster cow system, and we also have another curious farmer, a micro dairy farmer. But yeah, if anybody online is Irish or knows anyone Irish who's curious, yeah, kind of hit me up and let me know. And then our living lab idea. So we had a number of different ideas that we'd kind of talked about whenever we met online. And then actually, again, whenever we came to Scotland and all, we were all in the room together. This separate idea came up kind of as part of the discussion. And it was sort of really to look at the benefits of CCC farming to farmer well-being, because a lot of the farmers that were practicing the system really felt quite passionately that it has impacted them in a positive way in terms of their well-being. So that is the Living Lab idea that we have submitted for funding. And we're hoping that will kind of encourage curious farmers. We're going to interview farmers as part of that and produce some nice digital outputs as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions for Rachel? Okay, I don't see any. Then it's Saro's turn, who will present the NIP from Germany. And you also have a case study from a German farm, right? So I think, yeah, we will see a longer presentation from Saro. Thank you.
Yeah, hello everybody. My name is Saro. I'm working for the project partner Schweißfurt Stiftung since almost 7 years and working as animal welfare project manager and on the topic of CCC systems. And since last year, I'm also the network facilitator for Germany. We have organized a group, or I have organized a group of 20 members, and according to our recommendation that the NIPs should be farmer-driven, all the members are dairy farmers. I have not yet included any other stakeholders. I want to do this in a further step when we started with our Living Lab project. Although it is quite varied, the farms have from 13 to 1,500 cows per farm. The biggest farm, it is not the owner who is in the NIP, but one of the employees who has at home also a farm with his parents with about 60 cows and an AMS system, but he is working on a farm with 1,500 dairy cows, and he is bringing in this experience also in the group. And the experience with CCC systems varies from 0 to, he has written 15, but meanwhile I found out it's more than 20 years are in the group. We have developed in our first presence meetings the innovation wheel and developed then in online meetings proposals for the living labs. And we got 14 proposals from the members and finally submitted 2 project proposals. We had 1 meeting in presence and we had 4 online meetings, and we created also a WhatsApp group for exchange. The first proposal is development of a needs-based support scheme for dairy farmers converting to CCC systems, because according to our experience, it is, especially in the conversion phase, it's important that the farmers have one-to-one support from experienced persons, and especially qualified experienced CCC farmers to address any questions which occur during the conversion period. And I think, or we think, that can reduce the proportion of switchers, because we have also the case that farmers started converting to CCC systems, but then they got serious problems and they switched back again. The second proposal is develop cooperation models between CCC farms and foster cow farms for the calf rearing, because the rearing at the dairy farm is especially expensive, and with the cooperation with foster cow farms, I think these costs can be reduced, and so the incentive for the CCC farms are higher. I mentioned already that some group members have a lot of practical experience and theoretical knowledge in the CCC system, and the challenge is that the farmers are very busy and often miss a meeting, so the continuity is not always given. But I think when we start the project, the interested farmer will be with us. So this was the presentation about our NIP, and I proceed with a farm case study. I want to present you Rolf Holzapfel and his farm Hofgut Vockenreute because he is a person in Germany who influenced the development very much. He is running himself a 70-hectare farm with 60 dairy cows. The average milk production per cow is about 5,800 liters, but about 1,500 of this is going into the calves. And he is not only managing this farm, he is also manager of the producer organization Demeter Heumilchbauern, which is in form of a company. They have 40 members, 40 dairy farms, with in total about 1,700 cows, and produce about 7 million kilogram of milk per year, and market with their company about 550 calves per year about the retail market. And they started cow-calf contact systems in 2019 with a private label that they developed together with animal welfare organization. And here on the picture, we see one of the inspections, because they did external auditing by this animal welfare organization to ensure the quality of their cow-calf contact system. And in addition to this, Rolf Holzapfel is also a member of the board of directors of the non-profit organization Interessengemeinschaft Kuhgebundene Kälberaufzucht. I put yesterday a flyer there, but they are already all gone. So I hope I can bring some more this evening for the dinner in case that somebody is still interested. And the organization has about 40 full members. This means these are dairy farms who are practicing CCC system. And among these farmers is, for example, this big farm with 1,500 cows, and is also the producer organization with 1,700 cows. And in addition to this, 38 other normal dairy farms, in average, I would say perhaps 50 to 60 cows per member. And in addition to the full members, there are also about 30 sustaining members. For example, the 5 big organic producer organizations are member and are also in the board of advisory. And private companies and private persons and even conventional farmers are sustaining members of the association. Rolf Holzapfel was also the initiator to develop the criteria for the association, for the CCC system. And it is a one-page list of criteria open for certified organic farms. And this was published in February 2021. And the third-party certification is available since 2023. This is because after the criteria, we had to develop also a checklist and a guideline how to do the audits. And this was also done in cooperation with the advisory board. And nowadays, it is possible to get a certified CCC system in Germany, but limited only to organic farmers, because the intention was to base this on the already quite high level of animal welfare of the certified organic farms. So there was also interest of conventional farmers, but they need to develop their own system if they want. This is mostly done voluntary work by the dairy farms, and they said we don't have the time to do this also for the conventional sector. And yeah, I want to end with some impressions. You see on the photo left, Rolf Holzapfel again here. This was a meeting in 2019, a workshop, and there he put the idea in the discussion. We need a common standard for the CCC system. We need a definition. Otherwise, at this time, already 3 private standards existed and private labels. But his vision was to have a common standard for the sector for whole Germany. And in the middle, you see a photo of one of our research projects in Bavaria, where we found out one of the main challenge for the dairy farms doing CCC systems according to our criteria for all calves is the marketing of the animals, is the marketing of the beef meat. And we inform the consumers that with every liter of milk is going 30 grams of beef. Otherwise, the farmers cannot do it. And in the middle down, this is one photo of this big farm with 1,500 cows. 1,500 cows. And on the right is another member of the association who is also in the board of the advisors. So far from my side. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. Are there any questions? Yeah, Siobhan.
Just so I'm clear, that sausage on the thing, is that a real, is that just an advert, or is that really how they have to buy the milk?
No.
It's just an advert.
Make it real.
Visible. Okay, perfect.
There's another question here.
The criteria are or it is a secret of the association? The criteria you take into consideration to certify.
Criteria you find on the homepage of the association. You find also the checklist
Thank
there.
you so much.
And you find also a video on the inspector training for the certification. This is very transparent and public. It's no secret.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It is not a question, it's more a request. You said yesterday that you were using systemic consenting, an online tool. I assume you used it also for fixing the criteria maybe. And thinking about the survey we did before about the hot spots and difficulties to get the consent, maybe this is something that you could also share at a later time with the whole consortium. Thank you.
Yeah, the criteria and development, this was a process over several months, and it was mainly online. We didn't use this tool, but we had several rounds of feedbacks, etc., and it is a compromise. And we invited all interested stakeholders into this process. It was really a participative process. Animal welfare organization, Four Paws, Profi, etc., were involved. Dairy industry was involved, conventional farmers, organic farmers. All interested parties have contributed to this criteria development. Yes. Yeah, and one last word for the criterias, but for the initiators, these organic farmers, they said, we want to have the final decision about the criteria. Also, if now there are any changes to make, we don't want that is coming from the industry or from the trade or from the animal welfare organization, because we have to implement it, we have to do it. So we want to have the final word about it.
There's an online question, but you've maybe answered a little bit of it. Why can you not use the standard for organic farms also for the conventional farms?
It was a question of resources. The organic farmers are doing this mainly on voluntary work, and they want not like in hay milk. You have now a EU standard for hay milk, but there is no differentiation in price for the organic hay milk and for the conventional hay milk. And they wanted to have an exclusive access to a premium price, which is not mixed up with conventional production. That was the background to limit it to the organic sector.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for sharing and everything for all the work that has already been put in there. Now we continue with the next national practice hub, which is Austria. And it is presented by Jakob from the Organic Association in Austria.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Jakob. I'm working for Bio Austria in Upper Austria as an advisor. Yeah, about our NIP in Austria, we have approximately 20 NIP members. They are coming from all over Austria, and it's mostly farmers. Like in Germany, we also had the idea that it's mostly farmers driven, but we have a few scientists in there because one of the member farms is the scientific research farm of Ramberg-Gumpenstein, the organic research institute there, and they are part of the NIP because they were thinking of building a new barn for the young stock for the calves, and they are thinking about doing something with cow-calf contact systems. So it's very good to have them in there. It's a lot of knowledge and yeah, good input. Yeah, the typical cow-calf contact farm, I really cannot really say it because it's very diverse farms. It's mainly smaller farms, I would say, but with a lot of various systems. And a lot of them are direct marketing, but there are also some selling to the processors. I would say that 2/3 of the farmers are already practicing, and there's about 1/3 that's just interested in the system, and also mainly because they are thinking of building a new barn, and that is one thing or option they want to be clear of if this would be something for them, yeah, if they already have to think that into their construction ideas. Yeah, and we have some larger farms. I think it's 2 farms with about 80 cows, also with automatic milking, and yeah, it's mostly with foster cow systems. The activities so far, we had 2 meetings in person. In the top picture, you can see the new seminar room of the Organic Institute in Ramberg-Gumpenstein. That's a really nice scene in the mountains. And we had 3 barn visits. So 1 barn visit at Ramberg-Gumpenstein and 2 farm visits at the second meeting. And we visited 2 of the members that are already having cow-calf contact systems. And we had 1 meeting online where we were going deeper into the ideas for the Living Lab. And in every meeting, we had a minimum of 16 farmers. Now to the Living Lab idea that we submitted. We had the idea of calf weight monitoring in cow-calf contact systems. So the goal is to test automatic calf scales as a practical tool in cow-calf contact systems. So we had several ideas, but it was hard to come to a consensus. So there's 2 farmers that are very interested in this idea. So the method would be to install scales and record the weights digitally, because some farmers are already doing it manually and they say it's kind of unpractical. So they want to find a more automatic way of doing it, maybe also combined with an app, something like that. We're still trying to find out what would be possible. And the benefits would be a better growth tracking and maybe early issue detection. And this could, on the one side, save time, and on the other side, maybe save costs for veterinary treatments. And also this could be an economic gain, but that's what we want to find out. And also if an outcome should be, if this support decision, it could be a support decision making for tech adoptions on farms. So if it would be a good idea for other farmers to buy such an probably cost-intensive equipment. Yeah. So one of the best things I would say about our group is the good motivation. We always have fun at the meetings, and also the high motivation to come to the in-person meetings. They travel also quite far. I mean, Austria is not the biggest country of Europe, I would say, but still, if you know where Vorarlberg is, close to Switzerland, they're also coming, and yeah, it's really, really cool. And they say, we want to meet in person at least 2 times a year. And yeah, any concerns about the group? I said it before, it's only a very small group, maybe 2 or 3 farmers that are really interested in the specific Living Lab topic. But as I said yesterday, I think it's important to put the energy where it or go there where the energy is, and I think that's a good way. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Jakob for the Austrian NIP? Okay, seeing none. So now we come to the last NIP presentation, and the country is missing is our host country here. So Chrysa will talk about the Greece NIP.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. So I will present as a Greek NNF, along with Andreas, our Greek NIP. So as a NIP, our first encounter was back in November, on our first NIP meeting, when we had the presentation of the TDN project and the CCC concept, which, as we told you, it was very unknown here in Greece. Along with that, we had a publication in a Greek journal, which is a very well-read agricultural journal in Greece, and took part in dissemination activities during national funded research programs events. As Dr. Eva said earlier in the morning, we disseminate the project and the concept of the project in many stakeholders, and we had ongoing coordination and communications with them for this project. So what can we say about that is, in practice, we are open to new members, and the new farmers are eager to learn more about this project, and they want to join. And it's a dynamic process. It's not a static group. But so far, in our first NIP meeting, we had 5 large-scale dairy farmers, 2 veterinary inspectors, 1 dairy industry representative, and 3 researchers. So in Greece, we do not practice CCC. That's why we want for the LL idea to be a small pilot farm just for the farmers and every stakeholder in Greece to see and conceptualize the idea. So we proposed a foster cow model in a CCC pen for a small period of time, which will be the first real CCC application in the Greek dairy sector and would be known. So this aims to have it be a learning opportunity for many stakeholders here in Greece. So I want to conclude for the best thing about the group and the challenge with these pictures, because the best thing about the group, as I said, is the dynamic process and the dynamic group that it is. We are open. We try to disseminate, and people are very eager to learn, even though they're a bit, skeptic about it, but they're very eager to learn and see what this is all about. And this is the challenge exactly, that the CCC concept is not known. So this picture is 1 month before our first NIP meeting, when we introduced them slightly to the project, and they all had a laugh here in this picture. So a month later in the NIP meeting, in the first NIP meeting, they had ideas. So this is a very huge step for us, and we hope for the best for the future.
Yeah, thank you very much. I see a question over there. Is there a microphone? No, it's for the online attendant, yeah.
Thank you very much for your nice talk. Why did you decide for a foster cow system? There are even more challenges. I mean, yes, there are of course other pros, but there are more challenges to find the right cow, accepting the calves and so on. So can you tell me or us a bit more about the decision?
Thank you. Actually, this was one of the ideas that were that we discussed about in the first NIP meeting when we had the innovation wheel process, and actually it's more feasible because we thought about it as more feasible in as a group to have this concept, as if to have more calves and one foster cow mother. I think that's why it was. It sounded more appealing for the farmers and the stakeholders. So yeah, we started like this, very small.
Thank you. Fingers crossed that it will be a successful living lab. Is there anyone else who would like to have a question for the Greece NIP? No. Okay. Thank you. And we come to the last, longer or a bit longer talk from Julie and Stine from Norway, together with Lucy Adenauer from Germany, Bonn. And you're going to tell us more about what we know about how much cow-calf contact actually costs. So thank you.
Yeah. Lucy's
She's online. Yeah. Okay, I don't think.
What do you need? Lucy's online. Yes. Okay. We want her face.
I think it should be fine. She'll just open herself.
Oh, right.
Do you want to see her?
No, maybe they want to see her.
Yes. It's always nice to see her. Yeah. When she starts talking, she will.
Nobody needs to see me.
We would like to see you. So that you're here with us. Yes. Moral support. Yeah. You start.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. It's the last talk of the day. So I hope you're prepared for the last talk of the day. The title that were given to us was, what do we know about how much cow-calf contact costs? So we can already reveal that we don't know much about this topic, but we will, with our 3 different perspectives and our 3 different backgrounds, I think yield some different perspectives on this topic. Okay. So the plan is now I will start. I will say something about the calf, and then Stine will share some results from a survey that was done in Norway, and Lucy will end this with some numbers. Okay.
You can only do this.
over there. So just go back to you. And then now. Okay. Nice. Okay. So first some words about my background and the way I have viewed this task. So I am a veterinarian and I work at the Norwegian Veterinary Institute, and I'm a researcher, and my background is within animal welfare research, and I've focused mostly on the dairy calf. That will color the questions that I arise, and I will actually just focus on stirring the pot and asking provocative questions. So I feel quite lucky to be able to do that. So first of all, my main interest lies within whether or not our neonatal calf, the baby calf, should be fed to satiety or not. So we all know that the baby calf is born monogastric. So for the first weeks after birth, the calf cannot make use of any other nutrient than milk. And so what we did in Norway some years ago is that we asked dairy farmers in Norway, how much milk do you feed to a calf that's 3 weeks old? And you can see the number here. So the Norwegian farmers feed around 6 or 8 liters of milk per day to 3-week-old calves. However, we do know that when calves are provided milk ad libitum, they drink much, much more. And we also know that calves fed restrictively are hungry and show signs of hunger. And so today we've heard this term, milk loss. And my question would then be, should we really be talking about milk loss? I would argue that we shouldn't be talking about milk loss, because if we talk about milk loss, then we assume that our calves that are born in the dairy herds should not be fed to satiety. So I would argue that it's important to work with systems that make sure that our dairy calves are fed to satiety. So first provocative question. Then, I think we're all used to seeing graphs like this. We're talking about cow performance. We're talking about the main income for the farmer, which is the number of kilos of milk that the cow produces a day. So this graph shows one cow and what she produces for the first 60 days after the calf is born. And however, maybe we should transit the way we look at cow performance, because actually this cow also produced this calf. So in fact, in addition to producing this number of kilos of milk, actually you can now see the plot of the calf weight gain, though undulating. I think it's because we measured the calf's weight gain at different days and different times of day. So maybe one calf at one day was very full and the other day it was before he suckled. Anyway, my point is here to show that while the cow is producing lots of milk, she's also giving nourishment to a dairy calf. And I think we should start to view her performance more nuanced. So second provocative point. Over to you, Stina.
Thank you. So then to the real costs, kind of, because milk costs. So, and then we kind of we asked farmers in the Succeed project, a co-worker of mine plus some master students were asking farmers for their attitudes, experiences, and adoption barriers towards CCC, focusing on economics. And it was actually 1,038 Norwegian farmers who answered this questionnaire. And they were also finding out that they were saying that CCC in this situation were having cow and calf together for more than 2 weeks, also including foster systems. And out of this 1,038 farmers, it was 31 who actually had CCC at that point. So this is a couple of years ago. And if we are taking that as 2.7% of the answers, we can estimate that is approximately 179 farmers who have CCC in Norway at that point. And they also asked how many who want to do this in the future. And then it was 155 who answered that this is super interesting and I would like to adopt this or start with this. Estimating that is 15%, it's actually 990 farms in close future who could be doing this in Norway. And from those who did not have CCC, the biggest barriers reported, that was financial position. So to the topic for the speak, but it also was the design of the barn and increased workload. And interestingly, those who are doing CCC do agree in some of these points, but are also reporting the opposite, which is quite interesting. So they do agree that it's less quota filling and decreased income. That's is the most negative consequences, together with more dairy cows for filling the quota. And also showing that it's increased space requirements. But they're also reporting that it's decreased workload and not increased workload. So that's kind of interesting why the farmers who are not doing this, they think it's a lot of work. And those who are doing it are saying that it's less work. But the biggest plus for CCC farmers, that was the increased calf growth and better calf health. That's the economic consequences reported by the farmers themselves. So when it comes to how much they invested, the 31 farms that were doing CCC by now, or at that point, most of them actually said that they had no investments at all. They were kind of just letting the calf in together with the cows. And it was also some few saying that it was less than 10,000 kroners, which is approximately 850 euros. So not very much. And that's more like buying something like wooden planks or rubber mats, or making the calf crib a bit nicer. Or separating in somehow. Yeah. And that's also interesting because Saro, one of his living labs are focusing on those on report showing that this is smart to have, like this you should know about before you start, because it is many people farmers who try and then it's not working really well, so they quit. And in this questionnaire, so out of the 1,000 farmers who answered this, it was 213 farmers who reported that they had tried, but quit of different reasons. And the main reason we would think would maybe be the costs, but actually it was the separation stress. And then it comes the space requirement, followed by less sellable milk. So the economics comes quite late in this way of looking at it. So, Lucy, what does the literature say when it comes to milk yield?
Yes, so maybe one of you can continue then with the slides, because I think I can't. So yes, so to add maybe a bit of results from the literature, I wanted to present on the two on two topics. I would like to present a few hard numbers maybe that we found in this systematic literature review that Guillermo already presented this morning. So just as a quick recap, we started that in September 2024, and we had these stages of creating eligible criteria, searching for relevant articles, screening the articles, and now we have extracted them, and we are in the next step, we will synthesize them and then summarize them. So what I did, and maybe please one further now, is I really only looked, so this has no statistical analysis behind it. I just went through our data that we collected out of this really big literature review to have an idea of or get a feeling what does all these studies actually say on milk yield, which is one important economic factor when we look at CCC. And there we, the studies were usually divided into groups of no contact. So that's the conventional farming. Limited contact, meaning it was restricted. The cows were only for a certain period of time during the day with the cows, or just after milking. And unlimited contact would be that the calves could stay with the cows the whole time. And if we look at the daily average yield, we can say, and please click once more, that actually the milk yield goes down if we have CCC contact compared to conventional. But if we look at total yield, one click, please. And another click, please. We can see that it suddenly gives a less clear picture. So actually limited contact could actually lead to even more or similar milk yield of a cow, which is maybe a bit surprising, but if you could click twice once more. Here we see that was a study where we had a very clear separation of the yield was measured pre-weaning, mid-lactation, and late-lactation. And there we can see, yes, pre-weaning, because the calf is there, we have a bit less, but then afterwards, actually, there's even an increase seen in the milk yield, or it's stable to what if the cows and the calves have no contact at all. So here I already see this is could be a very interesting part to look at in more detail, and really looking forward to analyzing this more. Could you click please now? Then I also put together, a few data that was found in the literature on the calf weight, which we just discussed at the start of the presentation. And here again, we can actually see that the daily gain is higher if there is contact than if there is no contact. And could you please click? And here again, an average daily gain in any case is higher. Once more, please. And there's really the question is then, and that would be something we also have to discuss, is the weight gain actually due to the CCC system, or is it due to the higher milk availability? So is it because they have contact and they feel less lonely, or is it because they can drink more milk? And then the question is, do they actually, so please one click more. And we had very limited, or I found very limited numbers on this, but the question was, is the daily calf milk intake higher or lower for if we have CCC? And we can say in general, it is higher, and that comes back to the provocative questions at the start, where we, and what we also need to answer is, are we actually feeding also calves to an extent necessary, or are we actually underfeeding them in a conventional farming system? That was it from my case. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much to the three of you. I would guess there are some questions. Yeah, I mean, maybe Rachel, you can start with the chat.
Oh, yeah. I think it's more of a comment actually, but Chloé has written, milk loss is not only the quantity of milk calves drink, but also the quality, particularly if you feed calves with milk powder and not from the tank. Then suckling calves make you lose the more valuable milk, and the fat protein parameters also change in suckled cows.
Yes, so I would comment and say, yes, that's a valuable comment. For the Norwegian situation, we don't use a lot of milk powder, so that's, I guess, our background. And for the protein changes, maybe I'll give the word to Sabine, but my general comment would be that it's a very transient change, isn't it?
Thank you. I would say that both the changes in fat and protein content are transient, so they're there during the contract period, but not necessarily after. But the one who really knows this is Kirstine. So nod if you agree, and I won't give you the microphone. She agrees. Great.
No? Oh. Thank you, and congratulations for the provocative way you presented this study. So from your presentation, I can see that there are gaps of knowledge in science, of course. There's a lot to be done in the future to define a lot of things, to measure a lot of impacts of the CC system, of course. But also there is something that is always there, the farmers' attitudes. The farmers' attitudes, some in all our surveys also, they are contradictory. They say that they should have more personnel if they adopt the system. And then they say we have less personnel or whatever it is. So this shows us the importance of dissemination and knowledge transfer in the project, I think. The farmers are not aware of the system. Sometimes in our countries, they are not aware at all. They are starting being very aware and very interested, but it is our work to transfer them the existing knowledge and make them enroll them with some tasks in the project. So this is the key point. So the dissemination, Mathilde and Rachel and Yael are is very important in this project, I think, in this thematic network. Very, very important. So this is my comment for this.
It's more common than a question, right? No, it's fine. We have another question or comment there.
Thank you for this very nice talk. Thank you, Julie, for raising those very provocative but very important points in the discussion about costs. I was wondering whether you found supporting evidence from farmer stories that we've heard that said that if a calf grew up with a mother, they give more milk in the first lactation than afterwards. And maybe they even have a higher weight when they're sent for slaughter as a cull cow because they have been with the mother and they grew so well. Is there any literature on that? Or did you find supporting evidence for that? Because maybe the yields just come in the end and it's like a long-term process.
Excellent question. Well, this is work in progress. We are analyzing these numbers right now, and I know Sigrid, she's not here now, but she's doing the same. So these are the questions that are being analyzed right now. And I think our research really has been focused on short-term controlled studies, controlled clinical trials. You know, been studying cow-calf contact for the first 8 weeks or 12 weeks. But what we are really lacking in our literature are the long cohort studies. So that's what we're doing now. Anyone else wanting to comment? Kirstine, you have these longer term studies?
This time I like to comment on it because you have always to look for what you compare it to. If you feed your calves in a proper way, in an artificial way with 16 kilograms. So we did a small study on it. We didn't find any difference anymore. So it's a lot of about feeding.
And also maybe what I was thinking, I mean, yes, there are definitely knowledge gaps concerning cow-calf contact, but there are also knowledge gaps concerning early separation of cow-calf contact. And just because we compare cow-calf contact to this currently standardized early separation doesn't mean that we know everything about early separation systems. So of course we need more knowledge, but still we can already start to transform. And I think what Eva said, this project is really a very great opportunity to integrate the knowledge that is already there, but also to focus on gaining more knowledge and getting this into practice. I don't know if you, Lucy, wanted to say something because you unmuted yourself.
Yeah, just maybe, I mean, out of the literature, we can see that the gain of the weight of the calves is higher. So that you can see if they are in a cow-calf contact system. Yeah, but maybe like Kirstine said, if you would in a conventional system also feed them to that standard that they actually need, you would see the same. Yeah, so it's always a matter of what you compare it with.
Yeah, we're interested in what the results from the review will show us exactly. Are there any more questions on the presentation? Okay, so then we will come to our last point, the final discussion that is prepared by Dinu. You've heard him before, he's the NNF of Romania, and yeah, will also now guide us through the discussion.
Should we see everything online? We have slides. No. Oh, yeah, I do. Sorry. Yes. So, hello, everyone, again. I was appointed by Siobhan and the rest of the NNFs. So, here I am to pick your brains a little with some final discussions. So, this would be like a very informal sort of interaction, or at least that's what I would wish for it to be. So, as previously stated yesterday and today by my colleagues, we at TransformDairyNet are a young and open network. So if you are not involved in any NIP and you would like to, we'd be very pleased to have you on board. As you can see, these good-looking people here are the network facilitators of TDN. And you can find our contacts and how to get in contact with us on our website. And since you're here, I guess we're a rather small network, so you can find your way around an NNF, or just email Rachel, as we all do, and ask for our contacts. So yeah, please be on board with us, support our NIPs and the NNFs, and we will be very grateful to collaborate in the next 2 years together. And also, I would like to open the floor for any comments, suggestions, recommendations, messages to the consortiums or to specific work package leaders. If any of you have something to tell us, now is the moment. Yes, we have Charles now.
Just going back to the last couple of presentations, I think from our perspective, we've learned more by recording more, as everything we do now, whether it's creating a spreadsheet to monitor the weight gain from the calves and then including details of the productivity of the cow in the parlour, to the weather changing, to events that happen through calving. Just record as much as possible. And then our time working with the likes of Marie Haskell on various projects, or anyone that comes to us with an idea, the more data we can collect as farmers, the more value we can add to the project and prove what we're doing. So that would be one piece of advice I would pass on.
Perfect. Thank you, Charles. I guess that's one of the ideas behind the living labs. And yes, each living lab proposal will be evaluated by a committee, and there will be done the evaluation. It's being done scientifically. So yeah. Thank you, Charles. That's a really, really good point. Do we have any other questions or remarks or opinions or whatever? We're very happy to hear from you. No, I think everyone is fed up at this point. Sorry, I don't have my glasses with me. I don't see that far, and you're not.
Yeah. No, I think that we also need to include veterinarians. So they have a very important role on when visiting a farm, and when you keep the calf with the cow, then they can disapprove and with that not help you if there's a problem. So yeah, I know that at least in the Netherlands, universities are more open to it now, but we have to help them get the knowledge as well. Yeah.
Excellent. Perfect. Thank you. That's a really good point. Yeah.
Yes, vets are part of our stakeholders. We are representing here at the Federation of Veterinarians of Europe, so they are on our list. Yeah.
Okay, so if we don't have any more comments or suggestions, or yeah, we can discuss more during dinner. No worries. As Mathilde and Yael said, please stay informed and get in contact with us. Bookmark as your favorite our webpage. Enroll if you haven't done it yet to our newsletter. Like us on Facebook, please. If you're a Facebook user, go on Facebook and follow our page, or on LinkedIn as you wish. From all the NNFs, I would like to ask you to give a round of applause to our local organizers who have done an impressive job so far. So well done, Eva and the group, in setting the bar up, because next year we will meet on our second EKIN that will be hosted by my group in Bucharest, Romania. So keep your agenda open for in the entire May of 2026. So thank you, everyone, and I'll give the floor to Siobhan to give a last speech. Thank you.
Thanks, Dinu. Wow, what a day. It's completely surpassed my expectations, I have to say, and they were already very high because I obviously knew the program, and I think the mix that we've had of bringing the practical experience with the science, with the analysis, with the marketing and so on has really been very thought-provoking and stimulating, and really reflects our true kind of embracing multi-actor approach to trying to upscale cow-calf contacts across Europe and beyond, I should say. That was always in the title. So we do have, we've had quite a lot of interest from people contacting us from countries outside of Europe, and we're already starting to build networks there as well. So again, we extend that invitation to anybody who is from outside Europe or has contacts, then please get in touch with us, and we will likely host a global NIP in the not too distant future. I think it's really, I guess, a testament to the partners in the consortium, but also not only them, but then everybody then that they work with and they come into contact with, that we really have this kind of, I guess, a very special energy and excitement about the topic. And we were, of course, thrilled that the European Union was willing to support us in the project with such a large financial investment, and we're kind of ready and willing and able to deliver on the promises that we made in that. I would want to particularly now just thank again all the various people who've been involved. So the speakers today, amazing. Our chairs who at very short notice and with limited prior experience have done an amazing job. And of course, our local organising committee again, Ava and Chrysa, Andreas and Marissa. And we very much look forward to getting together later this evening in the gala dinner, and particularly also for the study tour tomorrow. And I think this sets us up very well for next year in Romania. So please, if you're online, do come and think about joining us in person next year, and we will stay in touch in the project anyway. Thank you very much.